going on, guys? Welcome back to The Rotation, your unofficial home of Call of Duty challenges. And before we get into a lot of the drama that's happened over the last week or so and Elite Stage 1 matches and looking forward to the playoffs, we've got a cup to talk about. Cup number 4 in both EU and A didn't have any of the Elite Stage 1 teams playing in them, so they have been affectionately rebranded as the Europa League Cups, as you could see by the intro to this video. But we've also had cups in LATAM and APAC. Starting off on the EU side of things, and we had a grand final that featured 8 players that have never touched a grand final in challenges in EU before, and the 2 teams that did end up going against one another were Skechers and Revenge Tour. Revenge Tour managing to reverse sweep Gabe Aroma Hamshire in the winners' semi-finals in the first match of the day after going 2-0 down, and then they got bumped to the lower bracket by Skechers, who won 3-1 in winners' final, but Revenge Tour did manage to make it all the way back into the final, and that team is Trawdy, Jambo, Covs and T-Drills. As you can see, we went all in on the T-Drills love this weekend based on this one tweet for the grand finals, and they played against Sketchy and Co. Nif Naf New himself. And I've not spoken to a single person in the Challenger scene that wasn't absolutely made up to see Nathan Sketchy, Nif Nafdu, whatever you want to call him, in Grand Finals of Challengers Cup number 4. But it wasn't to be for Sketchy and Co, as they lost out to Revenge Tour in Grand Finals, and it was going to be a quick 4-0 sweep in the favour of Revenge Tour, who just took advantage of the fact that the Skechers team were iced for at least 2 hours following their winners' final victory. They just sort of sat around and had nothing to play whilst Revenge Tour were going through some of the better teams in the lower bracket. And it's a difficult situation with the scheduling of Challengers events that teams end up with these long periods of time of not playing, especially coming out of a winners' final the way that Skechers had done. It's difficult to see that they just couldn't get themselves going. They lost map 1 of Grand Finals 250 to 60, and this is they just couldn't get started, and they were not provided the opportunity to get started by Revenge Tour, who flexed their muscles, and they showed that they probably do belong on that precipice between top 16 and top 8, where the bottom 4 of the elite teams will end up being. And here are the stats from that Grand Finals where Revenge Tour swept Skechers away, and it is going to be Jambo with the 1.87 KD over the course of the Grand Finals that really turned out to be that X factor that Revenge Tour needed to get the job done. But obviously it's not just him in that team. Covs coming up from South Africa, coming into Europe this season and killing it with the several teams that he has had, and he showed that he really does deserve to be at the table with some of the best in Europe. But this Revenge Tour roster really did show that they are going to be pushing for qualification into Elite Stage 2 when that does come around in a few weeks' time. And obviously on the other side of things is disappointing performances from the Skechers squad, who at the end of the day, as previously mentioned, they were iced for quite a lengthy period of time, and they just couldn't get anything going in Grand Finals, and they were blown away by the heat, if you will, of the Revenge Tour roster. And over in NA, it might be a familiar name of the team, but not familiar players in terms of challengers so far this season, with Neptune and Spark making their first Challengers Cup appearance of the season after being dropped from the LAG main team. They played against Pup Cup in the Grand Finals over in NA, with Exotic, Phantoms, Gintroid and Darkside as their opponents. Now, Exotic and Co, they've been playing together for most of the season so far, and they've been able to get a lot of consistency under their belts, and they've shown their quality and ability through Cup number 4, but they came up against what is effectively now the Challengers' final boss without the elite teams in play, and it is going to be the LAG Academy who take the win. They came away with their first win of the Challenger season as a 4, with Noisy and Diamond Con, both partnering with the 2 pros who have dropped down into Challengers following Exceed, Joe Deceives and Assault being put into the LAG main team. And quick, whilst we're here, shout out to those guys, because they got their first win of the CDL season under their belts against the LA Thieves last weekend, and it was fantastic to see the guys get that win after having won the Rally Open not too long ago. And the one man who wasn't brought up from the academy roster to the main team has really showed what they're missing out on. He dropped a 1.73 in the grand finals of Cup number 4, and that man, obviously, that I'm talking about here is DiamondCon. He has been absolutely electric so far this Challenger season from start to finish in every single series that he's played. He has been right on it, and if anything, this just goes to show the character that this guy has. He didn't get put into the team, and he's come out and he's performed at this level against players who have been around for a long time. These are established players in the Challenger scene who have time and time again proved that they are quality opposition, and DiamondCon has come out and dropped a 1.73 KD in grand finals, a 4-0 for LAG Academy, and they just were unstoppable at every single point in the series. It did not look at any point like they were going to take the loss, and they just completely blew Pup Cup away to keep things going in terms of momentum for DiamondCon, because now that's before the elite finishes. There's now 2 events. No, can't say that. Lost track of my thought there. And one of the more impressive things about this from DiamondCon is the fact that he's got nearly 30 more engagements than Spark did across 4 maps. That's a crazy number, especially when you consider the kind of maps that they're playing. They're playing Albagra Fortress Hardpoint and Albagra Control as well. These maps are high engagement maps, and he's just playing so much faster than teammates who were playing on the main LAG team not too long ago. But yeah, DiamondCon, he gets our MVP without a shadow of a doubt from that grand finals in NA. And of course, we don't just have North America and EU to be talking about. We also do have cups that happened in LATAM and APAC regions across the last weekend. And in LATAM, D1 Gaming Official managed to get back on top after losing out in Cup number 3. They managed to come away with the win in Cup number 4, and they played against Team Smog in the grand finals in that region. Obviously, that's Team Smog, who combined with Alpha Esports for Team Smog Alpha, if you're keeping up with Elite Stage 1 as we are going on currently. And that Elite Stage 1 team has some of the most dynamic and interesting characters that you will see out of a Mexican team. And Snoopy is one that will probably be a name to look out for across the rest of the season and beyond. He... fantastic. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'm going to say fantastic. We'll get back. We'll get into Elite Stage 1 in a video that's going to come out a little later on. But LATAM Cup winners number 4 is actually D1 Gaming Official. These are some of the guys who ended up being in the Pro-Am qualifier. They managed to come away and come up to rally, and they're showing once again that they can be the best of the best in the LATAM region. And speaking of Pro-Am qualifying teams, EXM Esports are the ones who took home the APAC Challengers Cup number 4. These are the 4 lads who came from the APAC region over to rally, and again, in a very similar situation to the LATAM guys. They did not win Cup number 3, and they've come back in, they've won Cup number 4. And that's Durdev, Immense, Zeppa, Crimza, Restalling, all very well-known names in the APAC region. And these guys are fantastic at the end of the day. They managed to take a series at the Pro-Am when nobody really expected them to, and they have done a really, really good job of bouncing back from a non-practiced loss in Cup number 3, but they are now back to being the best of the best in APAC. And just to finish off in this video here, as you can see, the next cup that we will have will be taking place on January 28th and 29th. Lots of questions have been asked my way in the last sort of week or so, and elite teams can play in Cup number 5. It's not like Cup number 4 where we had the 12 elite teams not playing in NA or EU, but Cup number 5 will feature everybody. We will be back to a normal schedule in terms of absolutely everybody taking part. And that's pretty much it for now. Still haven't worked out a way how to end these videos properly, so I'll see you in a bit.